Hello, welcome back to our Reflect and Connect week number 6. Sorry, I'm looking at the syllabus right now to make sure I'm on the correct week. But today we're going to be talking about, well, the name and title of the article that we read is If Only We Had Enough Rehearsal Time. So it's basically about what we should be doing to be how we could efficiently use our time during rehearsal. And if the first point it makes is that there's always going to be something that takes away rehearsal time. And, sometimes that comes in forms of quote unquote from James Woomert. Weather delays, cancellation, school-wide assemblies, illness, standardized testing, rehearsal ability, and even building construction. Those are just a couple that he names, but he talks about just being mindful and where are some spots in terms of taking away rehearsal time, or sometimes in class when rehearsal time is taken away. So first point he makes is during the beginning portions of class, but I want to talk about ensemble setup because it's something I saw in my practicum where um, I did my practicum in elementary school, but they had a elementary orchestra that was in the main classroom. But the thing is that she doesn't have enough space to have the chairs out and ready to form. So when you enter the classroom on your left hand, there's stacks of chairs, and then outside the classroom, there's a rack of stands. So when it's time for orchestra, she has I'm trying to remember what she calls them, but um helpers or setup helpers. I can't remember what she refers to them as, but she chooses students that can come to the class and help set up for orchestra, and then these kids, put the instruments where they're supposed to go, set up the appropriate amount of chairs, and if one gets sick or one isn't able to, then there's a sub for that, and kids seem very excited to actually be a part of that process. But it talks about a latter portion of this reading. It talks about management, and a lot of it um, comes back to just making the students be a part of their learning. It's something we've discussed, I believe, a lot last semester as well, where you hear what your students are trying to say, or you listen to your students, and you allow them to do what they want to do, but to make a point at times, or to actually test it out. So one way we talked about was when your Professor Webb's student wanted, I think, a different bowing, but then you shut it down, and then you thought a lot afterwards where it could have been a good learning opportunity for your students to actually test it out and see um why it doesn't work instead of telling them no. But yeah, a lot towards the end of the reading, it talks about just having your students involved in their learning, because one way they learn is by doing. So if they feel like they have a voice and they could you know make their ideas come to life, and then it might be something that you as the teacher might be like, hey, we could actually do this. That's probably a good thing, or also show the students why musically it doesn't make sense. But yeah, I'm trying to remember any other things. Um, I guess to wrap up, rehearsal recordings. It's something we do a lot in college, and the reading makes a good point where it allows your students to like hear back and evaluate themselves, and it's it seems like something that wouldn't take away time from your rehearsal, but yeah, it would help encourage your students.